Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Um, Usually on this video, I cover the events of a specific day in history and talk about the historic context and the historic consequences of that. I'm calling an audible tonight because I believe the events of the past 7 days, the past week, deserve serious discussion. As I'm recording this video, in the past week, Senator Bernie Sanders has ended his presidential campaign and endorsed Joe Biden. What was a foregone conclusion became official. Former President Barack Obama endorsed Joe Biden. Senator Elizabeth Warren endorsed Joe Biden as well, as did Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And Donald Trump has threatened to adjourn Congress to jam through recess appointments, an unprecedented move, especially for a Senate controlled by his own party, who could very easily jam through these nominees if they wanted to, and has said falsely that he can order governors to reopen their states. This is very scary times. And you look to the Democratic Party, and I think a lot of what has occurred in the Democratic primary is Democrats realizing that the stakes are extremely high for this upcoming election, and they have to be unified. And with Sanders coming out and endorsing Biden, he allows his supporters time to process the loss, come to see the value in supporting Joe Biden, and ultimately voting for Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren, with her strong endorsement today, sends a message to progressives in the party who may be weary of Biden. He's our man. He is a fighter for our causes. And you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, arguably the most influential voice on the web of the young progressive movement in this country, saying the stakes are too high. This is do or die. And those moves by those politicians should be applauded. Politicians who have strong disagreements with Joe Biden on some policy issues, but understand that 4 more years of Donald Trump versus 4 years of Joe Biden in the White House are night and day differences. They are noon and midnight differences. And I want to preface this by being fully transparent. I have donated a significant amount of money to Joe Biden's presidential campaign. I am supporting Joe Biden for president and voted for him in the Alabama Democratic primary. I cast a ballot for the man. And here is my bottom line assessment. We are seeing the failures of the Trump administration play out in real time with their response to this coronavirus. And his response every day, these daily White House press briefings, which for some reason the news media continues to cover as legitimate news events when they're nothing more than glorified campaign rallies, are his form of distraction. Donald Trump today announced that he is threatening to adjourn Congress so he can jam through a bunch of recess appointments. One, this is troubling because it's unprecedented. Two, during the Obama administration, he tried a similar tactic with some nominees, although he did not adjourn Congress, but similar circumstances, and the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. But the biggest reason is Donald Trump's party controls the Senate. Mitch McConnell, for nominees, it requires a simple majority vote. And if Mitch McConnell wanted to, he could pass all of these nominees very easily. He could confirm them fairly quickly. And of course you have the bogus statement by Donald Trump that he has total authority over governors and can require the governors to open their state. We are living in scary times. And we must reject the type of leadership that currently resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Folks, leadership is on the ballot come November 3rd. I have some strong disagreements on some policy issues with Joe Biden. But the stakes are too high. And we cannot, if you have friends who are considering voting third party, please be very reasonable with them. Please explain to them the stakes. Because if someone is considering voting third party, they obviously are not comfortable with the leadership of Donald Trump. Second terms are a referendum on a presidency. But try to convince them to vote for Joe Biden. Show them the dire consequences that their vote can have. Point to New Hampshire in 2000 with Ralph Nader and Al Gore. Point to Florida. Point to Wisconsin and Jill Stein in 2016. Jill Stein in a handful of other states in 2016. Or Gary Johnson in a handful of states in 2016. We, as a country, are better than this. Much better. And this pains me as someone who has supported the Republican Party for a long time to say this. But in the upcoming election, I believe that the Republican Party is going to be on the receiving end of an historic election blowout. And they deserve it. For their abject failure to hold this president accountable.